Okay, good evening, council and staff, and anybody watching us from the public. Welcome to our public meeting of October the 19th. So I have a motion or open the public meeting. If I can have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Sam, second by Martin. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. Any additions to the agenda, Mrs. Haley?
No, Mr. Mayor, we only have the one public meeting this evening.
Okay, thank you. So I have somebody approve the agenda. By Lyle, second by Stephanie. All in favor of the motion? Motion's carried. Any declaration of community interest? Not seeing none. We'll move right into the presentation. Delegations, Lancier proposed zoning amendment. Mrs. Haley, if you would.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will just share my screen, which will take a minute. Okay, so can you see my full screen? Yes, thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone to our public meeting this evening. So we have rules of engagement. For those of you who are participating by Zoom or by phone, you will be permitted to speak to the respective application following my presentation. Prior to speaking, please state your name and address for the record. To make a comment, please use the raise hand function and the chair will call upon you. If you have registered to participate in the meeting by phone to speak to a particular or to this application, you will be asked if you would like to comment on the application after the presentation. So I now need to read formal wording that's required under the Ontario Planning Act. This is a hearing under Section 34 of the Ontario Planning Act. Any person may attend this hearing and or make written or verbal representation either in support of or in opposition to the proposed zoning amendment. If a person or public body does not make oral or written submissions at this hearing before the zoning amendment is decided upon, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Council of the Township of South Glengarry to the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, also known as LPAT. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a hearing or make written submissions to South Glengarry before the zoning amendment is decided upon, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the LPAT unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. So the zoning amendment this evening is for a property that's located at part of Lot 38, Concession 9. It's located on the east side of County Road 34 in the geographic township of Lancaster, which is now South Glengarry. This is a key map of where the property is located. You can see at the top of the screen where it says Concession Road 10. That is the most northern boundary of our municipality on the east side of County Road 34. So this property is essentially just south of Alexandria. This is a larger view of the area. So the property is located in this location. So you can see it's right at the border of North Glengarry Township. So the subject property was recently created by a consent, which is also a severance. And the intention of developing this property is for commercial purposes. It is currently vacant and it may be developed sometime in the future. So the purpose of the amendment this evening is to rezone the subject property from rural district to general commercial to permit commercial development in the future. In our zoning bylaw, we have a variety of uses that are permitted in the general commercial zone. And I can just give you some examples for the public that's wondering, because we don't have a specific application for this site at this time. So an example would be a bank or financial office, retail space, a contractor's yard, farm equipment sales and establishment, farmer's market, garden center or greenhouses, a gas bar, professional or business office. Those are just a few examples that fall in the general commercial zone. So the subject property is currently designated rural district in the county official plan. And the proposed zoning amendment conforms to the official plan as there are commercial uses permitted within the rural district. And the United Counties have been copied or circulated on this application. I've not received their formal comments to date. There's still lots of time though, so I'm not concerned by that. And I'm sure I'll have their comments before I prepare a staff report. So this zoning amendment application will be subject to a decision of council. A staff report, including a recommendation, will be brought to council for a decision at an upcoming council meeting. And it's my goal to have this completed on our next meeting if possible, which is November 2nd. So all public comments must be received by October 23rd, 2020 by 4 p.m. in order for me to advance the file. And that's all I have to present, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. You're on mute, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mrs. Haley. Okay, I'll open it up if
Happens
there's
to me
any.
all the time.
Yes, me too. Questions or comments, Deputy Mayor Warden?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I see that this is a proper area to rezone. There's a lot of traffic in that area. I know there's a few houses not too far from there, but the general area is a great for development, and hopefully council will support it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of council? Councillor Jaworski?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Haley, so on the map that you showed us, it doesn't show the zoning on the North Glengarry side of Highway 34. But am I correct? I know that there's two, like, you know, R&R Small Engine and the Commonwealth Mutual Insurance building. They're both quite close to that location. So is there more commercial zoning on the North Glengarry side, sort of opposite this?
I honestly could not answer that question accurately without researching the North Glengarry zone.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I would expect the R&R Small Engine and the insurance building are commercial.
For sure, Commonwealth Insurance, it's almost across the road, and then Home Hardware is not very far from there. So there's definitely, you know, commercial uses nearby, which would allow for consistency from a land use planning perspective. But I honestly couldn't tell you if the abutting property to the north is actually zoned commercial or not.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor McDonnell?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think it's a good spot to develop anyways. If former Titley's Motors is not far from there as well.
Sorry, we can't hear you at all.
Speak up, Sam. You can hard to hear you.
I was just saying, I think former Titley's Motors and now the trailer sales is just south of there. And I think the property to the north is commercial. It's just not developed. And I think it's the one with the large signs, advertising signs on it.
Okay, any other questions or comments from members of council? Not seeing none. Mr. Lanci, I'm not sure if you had a question or a comment. I see you're the only one on.
No, everything is fine.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Mrs. Haley?
No, that's all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So do we need somebody to move in second? No. Yes? We don't need anybody to move in second this tonight?
No, not at all. We'll just close the public meeting then.
Okay, thank you. If there's no other questions or comments? Not seeing none. If I can have somebody to adjourn the meeting, please. Moved by Lyle, second by Sam. All in favor? Motion's carried.